can't take him away. Yes, he's also doing his work. So there were system glitches. Our people complained about the system. That's pretty much what we've been dealing with this morning. And there was also tampering with voting boxes for special votes, where the seal were tampered with and things like that. And that has been brought to the attention of the IEC. There's one or two incidents where I was told even the IEC considered not only the seal got tampered with, even the back of the ballot box has been tampered with. So, but generally we think things are running very well.
Judging by what you've just explained, do you think these elections would be free and fair?
There will be free and fair. There is nothing 100% in life if you are scientific. That's why even DNA tests say 99.999% this is your child. They never say 100% this is your child. Only a scientific person will say no. But what happened to the other 1%? Why is it not 100%? Nothing is 100%. We must not, out of our own fear of losing elections, and then start casting aspersion on the IEC and its integrity. Because an institution that must look after these elections. We've run elections successfully for so many years without a problem. So we shouldn't expect major problems. But when they introduce things like the gadget they've introduced and all of that, it's a general problem in the country. I'm happy they took that risk. But the general problem is not the IEC. The IEC has got gadgets. You can't say no, the gadgets are not there. The gadgets are there, the network is not there. And the IEC is not responsible to put network infrastructure. It's your government which has failed you and then failed the IEC at the same time. So from where I'm sitting, the IEC acted very professional. Very few presiding officers who don't have an appreciation of the role of party agents. And we're dealing with that because others say to them, but go and sit next to the door. A party agent must be free to move around the voting station. If they decide they want to sit next to where names are checked, they can sit there. If they want to check where they are tearing a ballot paper given to a voter, they must sit there and see if you are not giving a voter two ballot papers. But when you say they must sit at the door, who's observing that you are not giving ballot papers, two ballot papers to one voter? So some presiding officers lack that appreciation. But once brought to our attention, we bring it to the attention of the IEC and even bring to the attention of the presiding officers to say, but they are allowed to move around. There is no problem with what they are doing as long as they don't tamper with the voter and they don't touch the IEC material. You can't touch as a party agent a ballot paper or an IEC box or anything. The only thing you do, you eat with your ears and your eyes as a party agent. So you look and you listen, and then when there's a problem, you raise it. You don't go and touch material of the IEC.
You previously said that amongst the polls that exist, Ipsos is the one that is more reliable. How concerned are you? Because in the latest one, you've dropped from 18% to 11%. How concerned are you about that result and about your targets to overtake the DA's the main?
But the Ipsos confessed that their research this time around may not be accurate because of the margin of error. I think the margin of error was too high for such a research to be used as a scientific evidence that something will happen. Nothing will happen really. So what happened is you have a situation where Ipsos, actually, the credible Ipsos that we all grew up knowing, it will have a day before research. They announce it 1 day before election to say a day before election, this is where we stand. And then during an election day, they will give you hourly updates to say this what is. Ipsos is not doing that now. So you can see it has been interfered with. That's why it's not doing what we normally get from Ipsos. And that's why it will suffer a serious credibility crisis if this result were to be something extremely different from what they predicted.
Do you see yourselves overtaking the DA then?
We see ourselves overtaking the ANC, not the DA. The DA is small boys. We have no time for small boys. We're going for the real giant, which is the ANC. We are in an election to remove the ANC. So we don't talk about opposition parties. How can you have all political parties formed and then are taking one opposition party? They are all opposition parties, but they all attack this opposition party and they don't attack the ruling party. So you ask yourself, what is the interest here? So we don't attack opposition parties. We are here to take over government. That's where our target is.
However, people say that you could be a kingmaker in a coalition government if the ANC doesn't get the 40%.
Absolutely. Cross that bridge when we are there. For now, we are on the road to
Mr. Malema, just kilometers from here, in days leading up to the election, we saw violence breaking out in Mponegele. Yesterday, the police issued a statement that has been a second suspect that has been arrested in relation to that incident. Of course, they appear in court only tomorrow. But do you have any security concerns today or in days leading up to the final vote count, if I may be correct? And secondly, maybe let me just pose a second question so that I don't have to come back. But previously, we are, I think, about 60 days into no load shedding, and you've said that this is something that will not last. And of course, there's speculation that tomorrow load shedding will resume. Of course, the ESCOM coming out to issue a statement saying that is absolutely not the case. Do you still hold that view that load shedding, these load shedding 3 days will not last?
Well, they are not sustainable. That's why they said to you, we have suspended. They didn't say we've gotten rid of load shedding. They said we have suspended the load shedding. So that's what we're dealing with, suspension. At any time, it can be uplifted. Some municipalities have already issued out schedules of, they don't call it load shedding, they speak about energy saving or things like that. So, yeah, it's not going to end. It's going to happen immediately after the elections. They are using it as an election gimmick, and we should not fall for that trap. As to the violence of Juju Valley, it's a desperation of attention-seeking individuals of no significance in society, that their only relevance is acting in a provocative manner, where a child gets shot and then stays in ICU for a very long time. Since that incident, the child is still in ICU because some fool decided to go and cause fights unnecessarily. And we must see them for who they are. They are stupid. They have been protected by wise collective around them, but acting individually, they demonstrate the highest level of stupidity to a point where they even fire shots from firearms when they don't have firearm licenses. So such people should not find any resonance in our society. We are a very peaceful country, we are very tolerant. We have coexisted with the ANC for the past 10 years. So there is absolutely no problem of violence between the EFF and the ANC. The question should just be what changed. Then you will know what's the cause of the problem. People who instigate violence where our children get even shot at, and then there's almost attempted murder of innocent people. We should be very jealous of ourselves shaking hands with such murderers. Society must not even give them a breathing space. They must be isolated completely by society for engaging in act of violence which compromise innocent lives. When we say let's isolate Israel because of the killing of children in Palestine and Israel, it's the same principle we must apply even amongst ourselves. Those who instigate violence which results in killing of innocent children must be isolated by society. The EFF is not involved in the violence of Jujuvel. The EFF will not be involved in any violence. That's why I said earlier on we ran clean campaign, because I know for a fact that part of our election strategy has never been instigation of violence. If anything, we said everybody must act with restraint, even on the face of provocation. Act with restraint. And the same message is being echoed today by the EFF. Whatever amount of provocation, do not respond with violence. Police are here, presiding officers are here. Anyone who act outside the electoral laws, the police must act with that, against that person together with the IEC. So EFF has got no role. The role of the EFF here is to look after its voters. That's why they've got their own table. They check them on the voters' roll. If they are there, they usher them in, leave them on the queue. After they vote, they take them, put them in the taxis, take them home. Our role today is to look after voters, not to do anything. It's not to campaign. Whether someone sings or plays loud music, does it, it's their own thing. It's not our problem.
Yes, Madam, I have just one more question. What is your message to the young African child? And what is the EFF going to do about the young African child that has not been done in this country?
We'll restore their dignity. We'll give them the land so that they've got a place of their own. Property relations are very important for the dignity of people. So we will restore the land in the hands of the Africans so their children have a better and a great future. We'll give them free education. We'll ensure that they go to school free of charge. They don't have to buy school uniform, because the uniform is part of education. So when you say free education, it must come with the whole package of what constitutes education. We'll ensure that every household has got electricity and clean water. Our people have proper roads, and that our children are provided 2 meals per day in schools to fight poverty. Increase the social grants of Logos to 4,000 rand upwards, including the child grant to 1,000 rand upwards. The EFF will eradicate crime in South Africa in such a way that all criminals who have declared war against our people shall be declared enemies of the state, and the state shall act against them in protection of our people. So that's it. And you're asking me a question that wants me to now present manifesto.